Hi there, David here, and welcome aboard Wild Goose Adventures. Glad to have you all for the ride. I'm at Mona Vale Beach, just finishing the Sydney leg of this little trip, but the next adventure is truly awesome. We're heading down to the Port Fairy Folk Festival. We're going to go via Melbourne, the Great Ocean Road, and we're going to go and check out a whole heap of foiling spots. So let's sheet on and get into it. On the way, we've got a cranking southerly change that has come through. Haven't seen any foilers. I've just arrived at Kiama, but I thought I might just quickly go and have a look at the blowhole and just see if I can also find a spot where, if there are any foilers. Welcome to Gerringong. This normally lush green surrounds are covered in cloud today. We've had a blustery change like I mentioned last night. Brought lots of rain, but I managed to set up my tent beforehand, and then it cleared just enough time for me to pack it up this morning. So I've come here with a coffee, and we're going to head off to Shoalhaven and then head off to Nowra on the way to Huskinson, all spots that potentially have some great foiling. Huskinson, here we are. I always pictured this place as a bit of a dream place. Nice sunny nor'easter, lovely blue sky and crystal clear water. That's the way it's been portrayed to me. We don't have that today. We've got about 20 knots from the south. We're ducking showers and it's anything but crystal clear blue. Anyway, I've been hunting around, and at Moona Creek I think I've found a nice little outlet that will get me out there and go for a foil. It's time that I manned up, sheeted on and got out there. I'm not taking any cameras, I'm just going to go and see what I can do. So let's sheet on and give it a go. That was kind of good. Not epic, but good. I was a bit worried about going out to a new place all on my own with so much wind and not really sure of the conditions, but manned up, got out there and had a ball. As the tide's dropping, it's got smoother inside that little section, and I found it had some great waves, had some great jibes, and it was just a lot of fun. If there was someone else here, it'd be even more fun, but that's the way it is. There's a place here that's reported for its white sand. It's absolutely gorgeous location. We might go and check it out. On my way through in Jervis Bay, I just had to stop here at Hyman's Beach. Reportedly some of the whitest sand anywhere in the world, certainly in Australia. There's no doubting that it is white. It reminds me a bit of Whitsundays, Whitehaven Beach. And the other thing that I love about it is the colours that it brings out as it enters on the water. There's no denying the beauty of the beach and its sand, but as we were soon to discover, if you visit this exquisite coastline, you are in for a real treat. A pretty nice spot to go for a swim, no doubt. Behind me at Bermagui is Camel Rock. Go figure. Leaving Bermagui, we passed the lake which pointed us to Lake Mambula and the Baimanga National Park. The chance to take the windy route to Bega via some dirt road was all too much for me. So as I traversed the road less travelled, I had a chance to soak in what we've seen so far and get excited for what is about to come. A place of maritime folklore. Eden is a beautiful place, and it is glorious in all of its landscape and its boating facilities. As a yachtsman, it's probably not the place that you want to end up. Normally it means if you're in the Hobart race that you've had to make an assessment and had to retire before you've made it to Tasmania, because this is the last jumping point before you cross Bass Strait. But it's well worth a look around, so let's sheet on and check it out. Known for its fishing, it is very popular with the trawlers, but also with border security, and I'm not quite sure why, but there's a major border security spot here as well. The police are out here and there's several big boats, but really Eden is all about its fishing. It wouldn't be right to stop without going to the museum. And here we have it, the museum. This place is legendary for the relationship between fishermen and killer whales in particular. Eden was always known for its whales, but what made it so special is that a group of killer whales would come in, they would see the whales, they would surround the whales, they would then come into Twofold Bay here and motion to the whalers until they launched their boats, and they would lead them out to the surrounded whales where they were able to harpoon them. And all the killer whales asked for them was the only thing that they eat out of whales, which was their tongue. The infamous killer whale that really started all of this was Old Tom, and that's Old Tom's skeleton there. It comes from another time, another place, but still, it's history, and this is Old Tom. Well, Eden is the place I traditionally think of as Sydney Hobart stopping point and a resting place to cross Bass Strait. But it's a fishing village and it focuses around whales and has quite some history, doesn't it? We've got a little bit of a calm spot before we're going to get some breeze from the northeast for a week or so. So I'm going to bolt down to Sandy Point down in Victoria, where I'm going to start my next bit of the foiling quest. Let's sheet on and head down to Sandy Point, Victoria. Still buzzing after Eden, it was such a pleasure to drive south, winding through the classic dairy country across the border into Victoria. We're here, Lakes Entrance, Victoria. We've crossed the border and we're well on our way. I couldn't help but stop here. There's a very famous trailer sailor race that starts somewhere around here, and enough is enough. There's a nor'easter blowing and it looks lovely, and I think there's a little bit of a narrow passageway that we can get out and give this a quick wing. So let's sheet on and give it a go. Well, there we have it, a beautiful foil. Probably not the place everybody goes, but I had a great time just between here and the buildings across. There's just this lovely little passage. The water was clear, the sand was lovely and white, and I had a fantastic time. Squeaky Beach in Wilson's Prom. What a lovely, isolated, wild place this is. Turns out the first time I've seen this moss growing on the rocks. Normally I associate that with Tasmania, but it is here in abundance and its beauty. Leaving the wilderness of Wilson's Prom, I was excited about the prospect of Sandy Point, a place I had heard so much from and it didn't disappoint. Being down here has really made me appreciate how good we've got at home. We get cyclone sure, and we get some bad weather, but really compared to here, what we've got is a storm in a teacup. Being close to the barrier reef, the wind doesn't really have a lot of time and opportunity to build up. So even though we get some wind and we get some big waves, it dies away pretty quickly. And as long as you can weather that, you're okay. Down here, it's a different story. What you can see behind me is Wilson's Promontory, and that really marks the spot where from here, as we go down and look further down south, behind me is the Tasman Sea, and the wild winds, the roaring 40s, they blow straight up here, unencumbered by land, and so these massive waves and vicious winds just come rolling here. And it just wants to growl. You can tell that it is keen to get going. As we leave here, we head down along the Great Ocean Road, and that whole coastline is known as the Shipwreck Coast. Early explorers came through here, and they were pounded mercilessly by the wind and by the waves, and with no motor to get themselves out of trouble, they ended up on unforgiving shores. This is all too nice. Next time we'll tackle the most spectacular coast you'll ever see. Well, here we are, the start of the Great Ocean Road, and officially the beginning of our adventure. Visit some classic surf locations, marvel at iconic scenery. So let's ride on, and until next time, smooth sailing.